Welcome to the Multidimensional Creator. I'm Evangeline Hemrick, your host. Side effects of listening to this podcast may include becoming radically sovereign over your life and taking full responsibility, breathing deeper, moving in new ways that make you feel really good, doing energy work on yourself, your animals, your land, and the planet. Trusting your intuition, grounded clarity, and inspiration. So consult your intuition before proceeding further with the podcast. So things are definitely changing, my friends. And I'm sure you can feel it. It's not in your mind, it's in your heart. There's a change taking place. There's a growing number of us who are no longer relating to life through judgment, separation, the old identity patterns of the past. Do you feel this is changing? Now we're relating through coherence. So you might have heard about heart coherence meditations. You might have heard about Heart Math Institute. So what exactly are we talking about when we say heart coherence? According to the Heart Math Institute, heart coherence is a measurable physiological state where your heart rhythm becomes smooth, ordered, and synchronized with your nervous system. Heart coherence happens when we feel emotions like appreciation, gratitude, love, compassion. And when we're in that state, our brain, our heart, and our entire body begins communicating more efficiently, operating optimally. We're not reacting to life when we're in heart coherence. We are responding from alignment. But what fascinates me is science is now able to measure what mystics have always known. So the heart is not just an organ, it is a stargate portal of perception. We're even beginning to see technologies that recognize the uniqueness of each person's electromagnetic signature. It's like our fingerprint, our heart frequency, so to speak. The heart doesn't just feel, it broadcasts. So your heart is sending out your own unique energy signature, your soul song, right now. That's happening. Isn't that really, really cool when you think about it? So what does heart coherence actually look like in real life? Not in theory, not in all this intellectual rolling it around as a concept, but in the lived experience of a human. Well, I'm going to tell you a little story recently how I noticed my own heart coherence changing. I realized something that stopped me in my tracks when I was at a funeral in my hometown, the little mountain town where I grew up. I was in the main church right in the center of town, and my old perceptions of being separate from the people in that mountain town where I was raised, feeling like an outsider, feeling like no one there got me and I couldn't wait to leave, it all just fell away. All of that illusion of separation, that I was separate from the people who live there, from the people who love living there. And I just always just couldn't stand that little town. I was like, I can't wait to get out of here. That's how I was when I was younger. And so we're at this funeral and there was no judgment. There was no separation in that church. There was only love. And the realization was that the distortion of perception was always mine. It was not that people there didn't get me or they couldn't understand me because that I was too different from them or whatever. What had changed was my state of being. I had moved into heart coherence. And in that space, there was no separation left to perceive. So the change was in me, which brought me into unity with every single person in that church. And I loved all of them. And then another one happened. And the reason I'm giving you these stories that are my own personal experiences very recently, I want you thinking about your own life and where you're starting to see heart coherence happen. Because I guarantee you it is, if you're awake to notice it. The other one happened this past weekend at this spring festival that happens in the small town where I live now. So I shifted away from one small town where I grew up in the mountains, and now I live in this little tiny town, which is adorable to me. I love this town, and I've had businesses in this town since 2001 when I opened my first spa. Well, there is a spring festival that comes like right at the time of Beltane, right at the beginning of May. It comes every year. And back when I had a day spa, it was a heavy time of the year for me because my business was situated right in the middle of town where they would block off the streets. And there were about 30,000 people that converge on this tiny little town in the beginning of May. And a lot of people have a lot of fun at this festival, but I have always carried this heaviness about Spring Folly Weekend, much like I consider people who live in a tourist town feel about tourists. It was just like, oh, because I used to have to run my business with the streets blocked and clients trying to get there for their spa treatments, even though the whole time I could have had a reframe that it was one of our most profitable weekends of the year. So from a business standpoint, that spring festival was a good thing perceivably, but I didn't feel good about it. It was this old imprint of stress, overwhelm, pressure, just a heaviness. And I unconsciously had carried that over into my present moment awareness. And I didn't realize that I just still carried this I thought it was more like junk food, funnel cakes and turkey legs and all the things that I don't eat. And I'm just like, oh gosh, it's just loud and bad food. I was just totally judging it. I was being like a judgy Judgerton. Okay. I didn't realize that. And then there was this softening that happened to me this weekend. We went up to hear the live music, and I watched people dancing, just fully expressed, uninhibited, so joyful. And I realized I just wasn't feeling heavy about it or judgy about it anymore. I was feeling love. I was seeing life being expressed and so many people having fun in a way that I had not been able to do all these years. And I wasn't seeing inconvenience anymore. This is what heart coherence does for you. It doesn't change the external world first. It changes the lens through which you are seeing it. I loved every one of those people at the festival. The unity consciousness that was circulating between us was real. It was real because I was the one who had made the change. It's just so fascinating to me. So let's do it together. Let's take that elevator from our mind, from all the distractions, from all the thoughts. Let's go down into our hearts together. Take the elevator down into your heart. Just close your eyes. Notice your thoughts. Now imagine an elevator slowly moving from your mind down into your heart. And drop the awareness down into the center of your chest. Breathe in gently through your heart. Now bring to your mind something simple that you love, a moment of beauty, an experience of appreciation. It could be something so simple. It could be the sunlight on your skin or sunlight sparkling on water. Let that feeling grow. Continue to breathe. Nothing forced. Just allowing this coherence, allowing your natural state of love, gratitude, appreciation to flow from here. Notice how the world feels different from your heart than from your mind, from your head. Notice how everything is just a little bit more beautiful, a little bit brighter, a little bit easier. You don't have to fix the world to experience peace. You just have to come home to the heart that already knows. Your heart is infinitely wise and it has such vast creative potential for you. So now you know how to do it. You can meet me in the heart. Meet me in the heart space anytime you want. Take that elevator down from your head when your head's just getting in the way and creating too many distracting thoughts for you. Take that elevator on down and I'll meet you there. Thank you for spending time with me today. If this episode supported you, come connect with me on Instagram at Evangeline Hemrick. You can find my website, evangelinehemrick.com. And we also have a supportive community for multidimensional creators like you on Facebook. To go deeper with me in one-on-one work, you can book a private session with me on my website. Until next time, stay embodied, stay sovereign, and keep listening to your intuition.